night, a big night between the two teams that have ruled the West here recently. Shea goes to work right away. Free throw line jumper is good.
That's his signature, the mid-range. He pushes off, but he's automatic. That's like his layup, a beautiful pass here to Holmgren.
Yep, no doubt. And then we move on to Shea again on the move.
I like Chinette. He pushes off, but he's automatic. That was like.
But it's clean. You know what I mean? That was like classy shade. Like it's not even
classy shade. Okay.
It's shade, not shade. Shade.
Shea and Chet each had 20 and a double-double in the same game for the first time ever. Meanwhile, Golden State would struggle. Buddy Hield throws it away here. Thunder pick up the loose ball, and then Shea inside for the layup and the foul.
Too easy. Too easy. Where's the transition defense? Where's the communication?
Well, speaking of transition defense here, Kuminga loses it. Shea going the other way, finds Hartenstein for the slam. OKC turned 21 Warriors turnovers into 27 points. Here's Kerr about that.
We've got to make better decisions if we're going to be a good team, and I've got to do a better job of putting our guys in position to do so.
The Thunder go on to take this one 126-102. Here's Draymond Green after the game.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the way you ended last season once Jimmy got here and what's going on right now?
I think everybody was committed to winning and doing that any way possible. And right now, it doesn't feel that way. I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league, but you have to make those personal agenda work in the team confines. And if it doesn't work, then you kind of got to get rid of your agenda. Or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting rid of you.
Where does that lack of commitment to winning show up on the court?
Getting your ass kicked by 30 shows up fast.
Interesting comments there by Draymond. The Warriors have been an enigma wrapped in a mystery so far this season. Through 12 games, already having 3 losses by at least 20 points. Last season, the Dubs had 5 20-point losses in total, which has folks in the Bay a bit concerned. So we now welcome in Anthony Slater, who covers the Warriors. Anthony, you had a front row seat to Draymond questioning the Warriors' commitment to winning. What more can you tell us about those comments?
Yeah, I actually went up to Draymond afterwards and kind of tried to clarify it a little bit. He made sure to say I was speaking about everyone, and that's been some of the noise coming from the Warriors today. Is like it's an everyone needs to help fix this type of thing. The veterans didn't play well last night and haven't played well recently, but when you start talking about personal agendas and just the way that answer was framed, obviously you look at 2 of the Warriors' youngest players who have publicly voiced their desires for more. Jonathan Kuminga, we know about the contract situation this summer. He started the season well. He's tailed off a bit lately, a lot of turnovers. And then Brandon Pajemski, he's made a lot of comments about, his long-term career desires, and he had a quote in a press conference about how he hopes to be better than Steph Curry. And I think there's a little bit of, eye-rolling at some of the comments, but also a look at Kuminga and Pajemski going, the veterans need help now. They're tired already early in the season. Steph was sick, and they just, if these guys are going to be about it and lead their career, they need to do it and do it in a way that helps them win.
So, Anthony, look, the Warriors were not very good on either end yesterday, but what's been the big issue with them offensively to start the season?
If I'm going to be honest, I would say the lack of Steph Curry in the last 6 games. You mentioned kind of the Jekyll and Hyde act of the team. Well, they went 4-1 because Steph Curry was healthy, fresh, coming out of the preseason. He had 42 in an overtime win, over the Nuggets. He was really good. And then on the road trip in India and Milwaukee, he played poorly, and the Warriors' offense played poorly, and they lost. Then he got sick. He missed 3 games. Last night, he's huffing and puffing out there trying to get his conditioning back. Plays 20 minutes, shoots 4-13, fouls 5 times. And, it's the reality of this team. When Steph Curry's not there, oftentimes their flaws get exposed. You saw it in the second round against Minnesota when they lost all 4 games without him. And, I think the best cure for this team is a really good Steph Curry.
All right, simple enough. We'll see how that all works out, Anthony. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. All right, the Warriors are coming off their first game of a 6-game road trip that could spell some trouble. Golden State has now lost 6 straight games on the road, and 5 of Their 6 games during this upcoming trip are against teams who either have a winning record or made the playoffs last season. All right, welcome into the studio. George Sedano in for Malika today. We're here with Chiney Ogwumike, Brian Windhorst, and Kendrick Perkins. Brian, I'll start with you. Your reaction to Draymond's comments.
First off, I think it's a good idea not to make sweeping assessments on your team when you're on a 6-game road trip and you played in Oklahoma City. Because everybody's going to feel a little beat up when they deal with the Thunder. But I absolutely do think Draymond was trying to send a message here. You could even see in the clip, he paused, and he's like, am I going to do this? Yes, I am. And he was trying to send a message to his teammates. I think what he was talking about is about team play, but I don't know what he was talking about. But he definitely wanted to send a message. And I will say this, talking to folks around the Warriors, this start of the season, even though it hasn't been crazy on this schedule, it has tired their older guys out. And so they have leaned on the younger players a little bit more, as we saw Steph miss some games with illness. And the younger players have kind of let the ball go through their fingers a little bit. So I do think there's a number of things that are going against them right now.
Chiney, what is your level of concern?
Picking up what you're putting down, the ball going through their fingers, the young players, I think that's where their frustration is, because Jonathan Kuminga has 5 turnovers. The rest of the Warriors starters have 6 combined. Trayce Jackson-Davis, 6 turnovers. I think that's their issue. It's not the fact that they're turning the ball over, it's that the young players are. But you need those young guys, especially when you're an aging team, a team full of veterans. You need those guys to be confident, especially on a night when you guys are not really performing to your standard level. And so I think pointing the finger, I'm glad he did it at everybody. So it's like all 5, what is it, 8 plus thumbs? At everyone, including Draymond himself. But I do think the biggest issue is this is the Golden State Warriors, right? They need to be road warriors. They can't just be warriors. Going up, having 6 of their last road games being lost. Like, he's putting a battery in their back, Draymond Green, to say, we have a tough test ahead, and we need to meet the challenge.
Perk?
Well, 2 things. Number one, I'm glad Steve Kerr took ownership in saying that it's on me, too, as well, to put those guys in position to be successful. That's number one. Number 2, Draymond, it's not a problem with younger guys having individual goals and agendas. You had them. You wanted to make all-star games. I'm going to give you a story. I'm with the Celtics. We just come off winning the NBA championship, right? KG is out the next year for a knee injury. Rondo is balling. I'm balling. I'm averaging a double-double. I'm knocking at the door of being an all-star. We go through a bad little slump. I think we lose like 3 or 4 games in a row. We have a coming to Jesus meeting on the airplane late night when we land back in Boston. We hashing it out. People are getting it off their chest. KG speaks. Perk, you my dog and all, but I feel like, bro, you playing selfish basketball. Like you trying to make the All-Star game. That's how it's looking, B. That's how you talking. That's how it's looking, B. I get up, I'm pissed. I'm walking off the plane. He like, my dog, you just go turn your back and walk off the plane? Sam Cassell goes to KG and tells KG, hey, man, he should want to make the All-Star game. This young fella got goals, individual goals. KG comes to me the next day. I'm getting my workout in, and he said, Perk, dog, my bad, big dog. Any way I can help you reach that individual goal, you should want to make the All-Star game. That's what real leaders do.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. So, all right, we got to shift gears here because we have breaking news out of Los Angeles. We welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what can you tell us about Bradley Beal and the Clippers?
George, Bradley Beal, as I take my AirPods here off a phone call, Bradley Beal has sustained a fractured hip, and he will undergo season-ending surgery, sources tell me. So Bradley Beal, his season is over. He suffered the injury over the weekend in Saturday's home loss against the Phoenix Suns, his old team. And Brad Beal's representative, Mark Bartelstein of Priority Sports, tells ESPN today, we met with numerous doctors and specialists around the country in collaboration with the entire Clippers medical staff over the last few days and came to the decision unanimously that the surgery will allow Brad to have a full and complete recovery. So Bradley Beal will undergo season-ending hip surgery. Of course, a brutal blow for the Clippers, off to a tough start this season. They made the trade to go get John Collins, and that came with Brad Beal as well after they moved Norman Powell to the Miami Heat in the offseason.
Yeah, brutal news there, Shams. Stand by for 1 second. We want to react to that real quick. Perk, your thoughts?
Well, Nico just got fired for Dallas having a 3-8 record. It's time for Lawrence Frank to do the same. Like, I feel sorry for Bradley Beal, but over the past 3 years, history has shown us that something has been bothering him. And so you replace a guy that was averaging 24 points for you, knocking at the door of being an all-star, Norman Powell, to go get a Bradley Beal that showed and proved you nothing over the last 3 years with Phoenix. And look at what Norman Powell is doing. Dallas was been monitoring Luka and the Lakers. I know you see what Norman Powell is averaging 25 points over his last 5 or 6 games.
Killing it.
How many chances do Lawrence Frank is going to get? Like, seriously, they have done absolutely nothing since he's taken over this organization.
Perk, we have more news out of L.A. Shams is back with us now. So, Shams, what else do you have regarding the Lakers?
So LeBron James was assigned to the Lakers NBA G League affiliate South Bay, and he went through his first practice of this NBA season, and most critically, his first 5-on-5 action of the season as he works toward a debut from sciatica on the right side. Sources told me this afternoon that LeBron James looked great, felt great as he went through that practice. He moved well, and he didn't show signs of any issues as he's worked through this nerve issue on his right side. My understanding right now is that LeBron James is motivated and eager to get back out on the court, potentially here mid to late this month. As the Lakers move forward here, evaluating him day by day, it's going to be about how he feels tonight, how he feels tomorrow, responding to the intensity of his first 5-on-5, his first few practices. I would expect him to get more under his belt before he makes his debut, of course. But this now starts the process of LeBron James making a return and debut for his historic 23rd NBA season.
Shams, thank you so much as always, man. Appreciate it. All right, Wendy, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the news that we got.
So I was at the Clippers game on Monday. They were very concerned about Bradley Beal's situation. I think they probably knew by then that it was very serious. The Clippers are 3-8 because they are a bottom 5 defensive team when they were a top 3 defensive team last year. That is the big difference. But I will tell you, Perk, that going through that building, the sense of loss of Norm Powell is felt everywhere. And that decision had multiple layers. Also was a contractual decision, especially the fact that Norm is killing in Miami. And for the for the Lakers, LeBron is going to go through a very methodical process here, but obviously when the Lakers come back from this road trip, you want to look to get him into practice with the Lakers, go through that step, and then I think you could see him out there shortly after that.
Janae?
40-year-old LeBron James is in the best probably scenario that he's been since he won a championship in 2016. He has 2 guys that he can rely on in Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. He's always had a 30% usage rate. He's never gone below 28%. This is a year where they can actually protect him offensively because he has guys that he can trust to really generate. So I do believe that LeBron taking his time has actually been the best case scenario for this Lakers squad, who is trending upward. Luka's top 2 and MVP candidate. Austin Reeves has shown he's more than capable to be a distributor, and he's got DeAndre Ayton locked in. This is a great situation for the Los Angeles Lakers overall.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. We'll see King James back soon. He feels your pain. This was his pregame message.
The pain of Kings fans. There's nobody that sat in this seat with the exception of 2 people, Rick Adelman and probably Jerry Reynolds, that understand the pain of Kings fans. So know that as I sit here, who experienced that pain with those men, we're going to get it right. We're going to work every damn day to get it right. So when I see the hate, the haters, the fakers, all you guys, you keep that energy. That's good. You keep that, and you know who you are.
Okay then, Coach. Well, Nikola Jokic added to that pain last night, putting up a season-high 35 points on 80% shooting. Janae, should Doug Christie have picked a different game to call out the haters?
Honestly, he could have done that, and Jokic could have played like this against anybody in the NBA. You remember when James Harden said, "I'm the system"? This is the guy that truly is one of the greatest offensive generators in NBA history. Y'all, they've won, I think they're top like 5 straight in the West. They are impressive, and Jokic, I mean, bonkers, 80% from the field.
All right, let's move on to Celtics and Sixers. Met for the 3rd time this season already. Philly won a tight one with Tyrese Maxey and Justin Edwards leading the way. Shams also reported Paul George is close to a return. Perk, what's your temperature on Philly right now?
Oh, what my temperature was last year when I was called everything but a child of God, when I said the franchise of that, the face of that franchise is Tyrese Maxey, topping the league in scoring. The energy, his energy is contagious, making guys around him better. We're watching the kid Edwards make shots. We're watching Oubre play at a high level. VJ Edgecombe is balling, and it's because of the leadership of that young man.
All right, let's move on to the Mavs. It's just over 24 hours since the Mavericks fired GM Nico Harrison. Mavs Governor Patrick Dumont released a statement saying, quote, "This decision reflects our continued commitment to building a championship-caliber organization, one that delivers for our players, our partners, and most importantly, our fans." The Nico Harrison era was filled with plenty of activity, from bringing in Jason Kidd to be the head coach and acquiring Kyrie at the trade deadline in 2023. But the misses were loud, like letting Jalen Brunson walk in 2022 and, of course, trading Luka to the Lakers last winter. The Mavericks will play their first game of the post-Nico era tonight against the Suns. Tim McMahon is in Dallas for that one. Tim, you have news on Anthony Davis. What can you tell us?
Howdy, George. Anthony Davis will miss his 7th straight game tonight with that left calf strain. That is because Mavericks Governor Patrick Dumont has requested medical data indicating there is no risk of aggravating that calf strain, or worse, like we unfortunately saw with Tyrese Halliburton in the finals, before he gives the green light for AD to return. AD wants to play. He's been working out. His personal medical staff, which is on the Mavericks payroll this season, has cleared him. Mavericks Director of Health and Performance, Johan Bilsborough, has pushed back against that. Dumont first became involved in this decision-making over the weekend. He is siding with Bilsborough, erring on the side of caution. So no AD tonight, and he wants to see some data before he gives that green light.
Our man Tim McMahon in Dallas. Adios, amigo. All right, Brian, what should the next move be for the Mavs?
Well, they've got to decide who is going to make the decisions for this team in the front office. Are they going to stick with the interim front office that they put in place, or are they going to look to hire somebody from outside? Are you going to bring that person in like now? And if you do that, are you going to give the green light to make changes to this roster? And if you are making changes to this roster, are you trying to upgrade this roster to deal with a team that's underachieving at 3-8? Or are you looking to take this roster down? And that is a lot that I just said there. There's a lot of prickly things to decide. The real issue that you've got with this team is, how good are they with Kyrie and AD healthy? If you don't think you're good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals now, should you consider looking what the trade market is for those two guys and reformatting all around Cooper Flagg? Because here's the thing. When Nico Harrison made the trade with Luka Doncic, he said we got a 3-year window to try to win. That is gone. There is nobody that has to stick to that anymore. And Cooper Flagg is now there. And so the whole league is watching very, very closely to see, are the Mavericks going to be a team looking at how deep this draft class is and knowing that in 2026, it's the only time between now and 2031 that the Mavericks control their draft pick, whether that doesn't line up as a recipe to start making moves.
Oh, rebuild is not an option. Rebuild is not an option. You still, look, I still need to see AD and Kyrie on the floor together, right? I think those two guys are gonna make magic. I believe when you look at that front line, when this team is healthy, they can compete with the best of them. We just have to see them on the floor, and they still have Jay Kidd as their head coach that they just extended.
When this team is healthy, that is probably, we used to say it in Philly, but that right now in Dallas is the biggest if in the NBA. If AD can, do you believe that he can make it through the postseason? I know he only played the first 5 games, 20-10 there, but that is the biggest if in the NBA. I do believe that getting rid of Nico Harrison was one step closer to pressing the scariest button, the reset button. Because if you think about it, the Dallas Mavericks, they right now have the lowest points per game in the NBA. They have the 2nd worst record in the West. AD, again, has only played the first 5 games, and he's out again. Kyrie is out. Are you going to bet on a Kyrie that's returning, which I believe in more than possibly an AD consistently getting there? That's a big if, my big bro.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's going to be fascinating to see
it's a Perk-sized if.
How it all breaks down. Hey, we'll see the Mavs next Wednesday. We got a doubleheader here on ESPN. Katie and the Rockets are in Cleveland taking on the Cavs. Then the Knicks will be in Dallas taking on Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks. The NBA Countdown crew tip off our coverage at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Coming up, Malik. Oh, I can't wait. This matchup tonight will have 2018 draft classmates Luka Doncic and SGA square off for the 14th time. Shea holds the head-to-head edge with 7 wins, but Luka has posted bigger scoring numbers in the 13 prior meetings. All right, we got a little role reversal here. We have Malika Andrews on the sidelines tonight for OKC and the Lakers. So, Malika, the Lakers 4-1 against teams above 500. How are they looking at this particular matchup against the defending champs?
I love the role reversal, George. The Lakers are looking at this like a litmus test, right? They're coming into Oklahoma City. They know they're the champions, and they're saying, okay, this is an early season test for us to see exactly who we have. I was talking to Austin Reeves earlier at Shoot-Around, and he said that this is a nice time to be able to check in against the standard bearers of the league in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, remember last April, the Lakers, they played the Oklahoma City Thunder right here in this building twice in just a handful of days, and the Lakers beat them the first time, and they hung really tough with them the second time. The coaching staff, you bet they're reminding the Lakers of that outing here, because this can feel like an incredibly tough building to play in. We just saw the Oklahoma City Thunder steamroll the Warriors last night. This is a very tough team and a tough test, but Austin told me that he feels like this team is much better than they were last year. They have more chemistry under their belt, and they're feeling as good as you can going up against the champs tonight.
Yeah, and the champs, as you mentioned, coming off a back-to-back. But the champs are also better this year, I think. They have the top defense in the league. Luka, though, averaging 37, 9, and 9. How are the Thunder looking at trying to contain Luka?
That's a little bit of a scary thought, right? That the Oklahoma City Thunder are even better than they were last year. Look, containing Luka cannot be done by one person, particularly tonight without Lou Dort in the lineup here for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So expect to see a lot of Cason Wallace on him, right? They're going to have Chet Holmgren. They're going to have their other guys. That's a departure from how they handled a back-to-back last week against the Portland Trailblazers when they sat more of their roster. But Lou Dort being out, remember Luka Doncic has described Lou Dort as one of the most difficult defenders he has ever had to face. He's not going to have that test tonight, so it's going to be done by committee here. But I will say this, George. J.J. Redick told me this morning that the Oklahoma City Thunder, a lot of teams say this, they actually mean it. When OKC has a next man up mentality, there's not much drop-off with the next guy who comes in to defend Luka Doncic. It's going to be a tough task tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. Malika, one favor. Keep Richard in check today somehow, okay?
That is a big, big favor, but I will do my best. I will do what I can.
All right, Malika, take care. Thank you so much. All right, Malika tonight on the Lakers and OKC out there in Oklahoma City. All right, from OKC to the big board. What do we got here, Chene and Perk? What are you guys looking at with this particular matchup?
Look, you guys, I know it's early. I know it's a small sample size, but this matchup right here has the 2 leading candidates for MVP. So I played for LA. Perk, can we show the jacket for a moment? Perk obviously played for OKC.
I not just played. Hey, ambassador. I'm
you're the ambassador?
In OKC.
Oh, my goodness. So we're going to take the respective stars. I'm going to start with Luka Doncic, how great he has been on the floor. Let's roll the tape and show what we've got. All right, Luka, he's so patient. He plays to his own tempo. DA has done a better job screening. That puts his defenders in a blender. But he also is very shifty. He'll slow down, create some contact, not just for the mid-range, but he'll get to 3. He's top 10 in made threes at over 4 a game. And then he does like to use these screens to sort of snake. And he's not afraid of anybody in front of him. This right here is Rudy Gobert, a Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. That's when he unleashes his fadeaway, the step back. He's a big guard. He is 6'7", and he's got these skills. But this is my favorite part of the game because it involves post-play. This is where he's lethal. The defenders come. It doesn't matter. He splits the defense. He tends to hit those fadeaways. But when he's attacking the basket, he scores from all levels. Oh. Last but not least, you heard the numbers. 37.1 points per game. The highest scoring average currently in the NBA. When was the last time we saw that? MJ. But this is wild, y'all. He did it for the entire season, but Luka is on a torrid, historic pace.
He is on the pace. That's why I picked Luka Doncic to win the scoring title. But on the flip side, my boy SGA, that's why I got my jacket said, keep a cool booty. The best mid-range game, best scorer, best player in the game. And here it is. He is leading the league in 2-point made shots. Right here, you see him getting the separation. By the way, he averaged 4.5 feet separation on his pull-ups. Here it is again, coming off. Look at the separation again, giving the big fella the nudge to knock down the shot. When you talk about the mid-range king, this is SGA. Here he goes again, sizing them up, getting in the bag. The separation again, 4.5 feet. Ooh. Get back, young fella. Let me knock this down. They call him Shea Butter for a reason. Most consecutive 20-point games in NBA history. Look who he's up there with. Wilt, and SGA. He's on the streak right now, active streak 84.
Hold on. Let's do this together, Perk. Will the real MVP please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Okay.
All right.
Y'all know I love it.
That was great stuff, as always, from you two. So, Brian, what do you make of what we're seeing from this Thunder team coming off a championship and playing as well as they're playing?
Well, they're getting incredible use out of their depth. And I would say that if there's any chance that the Lakers can win, it would be in a moment like tonight. Because they got the Thunder the second night of a back-to-back. Lou Dort is out. Jalen Williams is out. Aaron Wiggins is out, so you don't have some of the guys that you have defending Luka. So this is a shot for them, but they're so deep, they just keep rolling dudes in, including A.J. Mitchell, who's just getting it done. I will say this. The Lakers are doing great offensively. Luka's been awesome. But the Lakers are still 22nd league in defense. If they're going to get serious about anything, they're going to have to, defend a little bit higher level.
You know why that doesn't really matter? Because, honestly, speaking of the depth, when your number 3, quote-unquote, option, based off of what we saw in the finals, now becomes a ferocious number 2, Chet Holmgren, he's making that leap.
Oh, yeah.
That requisite leap if you're going to try to go back-to-back. This is a squad that has found one of the best 1-2 dynamic punches in the NBA. I think it was 9 for 9 yesterday. Shot 100% from the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, they just keep coming at you.
But that, too, is important.
You take the Atlantic Ocean and combine it with the Pacific Ocean, you get the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's how deep they are. It's the reason. I'm going to wear this jacket every Wednesday, every week on this show till somebody show me otherwise that they're ready to dethrone the champs because of the depth that they had.
Do you really commit to that?
Yeah, I'm committed to it.
It's a nice jacket. You should wear it.
I'm going to wear it every Wednesday.
All right, there we go. Coming up on NBA Today, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks.
Big body Brunson, George.
We're too tough for the Grizzlies to bear. How is New York's top star doing it? Vince Goodwill tells us next.
Isn't it like saltwater, freshwater? That'd be like a hurricane. They are.
Display last night, he poured in 32 points, added 10 assists against the Grizzlies. Big body Brunson, as Perk calls him, is now the 4th player in Knicks history to record 80 30-point games, joining Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony, and Richie Guerin. So we now welcome in our senior writer, Vince Goodwill, who will be covering the Magic and Knicks tonight at MSG. Knicks are 7-0 at home this season with 3 straight wins, scoring 130-plus points. So, Vince, what's been the key to the success for the Knicks?
Let's be honest here. One of the reasons that head coach Mike Brown was brought in was to diversify this offense. They did not want it to be so heavily dependent on Jalen Brunson. And one of the byproducts, even though Brunson has been able to find his rhythm as of late, has been Mikal Bridges being a more distributed player. He's averaging over 5 assists a game. That means you're keeping defenses off balance and off kilter. They are becoming a more potent three-point shooting team. They lead the league in three-point attempts and makes, and number 1 in corner threes. And most importantly, Mike Brown says he's not calling a lot of plays. I asked him the other night, are you trying to teach players to think for themselves, and what does that look like? He says it's a work in progress, but the most important thing is they're starting to come to me with suggestions, which lets us know that the communication between players and coach is on a good page so far.
All right, let's flip over to the defense. After every win, they hand out the Victory Tims to the team's new defensive player of the game for, they give him an award, basically, the Victory Tims. So where did this come from?
Well, you guys know that, whether it's the victory chain, the turnover chain in football, and other teams in basketball, they're doing it. The Knicks are just doing it with a New York flavor. They're handing out the Tims, the construction hats. Defensive coordinator Brendan O'Connor, longtime assistant around the NBA, He came up with this idea this season, although Mike Brown did it in Sacramento. They basically account for the defensive player who accounted more for winning. It's not in the stat sheets, it's in the deflections, it's in crucial plays and things like that. Last night, it was Mikal Bridges. They have walkout music for the players. They take photo ops. So it's almost like having a more joyous sort of tone to the Knicks season so far this season.
All right, listen, I know everyone is going to call you Vince Goodwill. I'm still going to call you Vinny because you're my guy. Vinny, thank you for joining us today.
Sophisticated.
There we go. Yes, more sophisticated being Vince. I'm with you. And tonight, the Knicks will have to deal with the birthday boy as Magic forward Paolo Banchero turns 23. Here's They wrote probably in this copy, I'm going to say the most disrespectful dunk of all time. Shaq on Chris Dudley. And then, of course, everything that ensued after the fact.
Yeah, that was traumatic.
Wait, there's more.
Well, that was he fought back.
Well, he thought better of it by the time Shaq turned around.
Yo, that was a lot.
Don't try to grab Shaq's legs like that.
And we got a bonus one here. Perk, I'm sorry to do this to you. D-Wade posterized you in 2011 and then did the Cabbage Patch. Now, a lot of people think this is a two-hander, but technically it's a one-hander. He goes up with two, finishes with one.
Perk, that was good help defense. Don't let him.
Was it, though? He didn't really jump that
much.
I got it back,
You got it back. Here it is.
Yeah, I got it back.
Statue those screws.
He was scared to jump.
Why'd you leave your leg up there, Perk?
Yeah.
Where was your cat?
Get my leg back.
All right, from deep range to the driving range, Caitlin Clark back at the Annika Pro-Am. Once again, turning the fairway into must-see TV. That's next.